new leader here, Joshua Pina takes it to the lead in front of Hunter Johnson.
Yeah, that 45 truck load's charging pretty hard with that outside lane. Perfectly formed up right now, and it looks like he'll be going for the lead down the backstretch.
So proudly wailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof
Good evening, race fans, and welcome to Friday night. Here we are on MaxSpeedTV, bringing you the action of the Relentless Racing Series here in Charlotte. Charlotte, North Carolina, Rick. Right now, temperature 77 degrees. Track temperature also 77 degrees. We're setting up for 130 laps here tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting race, Chris. And 130 laps, 195 miles, man. Looking at that fuel window, somewhere around 28 laps. We also have some stage racing tonight. That's something cool that the Relentless guys do here. First stage is going to end at lap 30. The second one at lap 60. Then we're going to finish this out 70 laps.
Yeah, going to be good times here tonight in Charlotte. Let's take a look at practice so far. Eric Lyda on top of the leaderboard here during practice, and not by very much. About 11, 10, 12, somewhere in there. Thousandths of a second, pretty good. Let's see, let's take a look. This coming week, we're going to be busy, guys. Sunday night, we're going to be joining Blazing Pedals at Darlington for 220 laps, and then next Wednesday, join us at around 9 o'clock Eastern Standard for Racing for a Cause. They're coming at you from Stafford at 119 laps, and that's going to be a good race. They just started their season. But tonight, we do have the Relentless Racing Series, and these guys are moving around the track here tonight.
That they definitely are, Chris. I mean, we've been watching a little bit of practice here. These guys having a good time out here, so we're in for some good racing. I mean, it's at the new Charlotte. We're under the lights. That's going to be cool watching all these cars there go around. Nice, shiny cars looking good, and it's going to be exciting.
Yep, it is, and we've got about 30 seconds left to practice. We're going to kick into qualifying, and then we've got 130 laps. Remember, first scheduled pit stop is at lap 30. Second will be at 60, and then it's a 70 lap dash to the finish. Very interesting, Rick. We already talked about it, but the average fuel run they're saying is about 28 laps. That means some pit strategy may come into play here if you want to try and win that first stage. The guy right now that we have on board, Matt Gruenberg, has been so good at winning stage racing. I don't know, didn't he sweep the board like the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, he definitely did, Chris. I mean, he knows how to get around these tracks, having a really good time. I mean, he's getting a bunch of bonus points there, so that's kind of cool to see. It's going to be interesting to see what he can do tonight here at Charlotte.
Well, we're waiting for these guys to qualify. Why don't we look at the points right now? James Miller up top, Matt Gruenberg in second spot, Kevin Jetersich is in third, Jeffrey Fisher in fourth, Troy Leonard rounding out the top five, Gabriel Essick, he is in sixth spot, Eric Lyda, Thomas Wagner, Jake McDonald, and Dame Newsom are your top 10 here at Relentless Racing. We've got a couple of cars on track. We're going to start off with Thomas Wagner in the 43. A new paint job this week, Rick. It's the Red Bull gray on black. It's looking pretty good out there.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, Thomas, he always picks out the really cool paints, Chris. This one's really showing up pretty nice under the lights here. We'll see what he can do in that number 43 Mustang as he goes around here into the corners. He's staying up nice and high, getting as much speed as he possibly can, Chris. And that's something that we're going to see a lot of tonight, especially when these guys are just starting to warm up, do their thing. Get that momentum flowing.
Yeah, going to be very fun to watch here tonight. Wagner, he was pretty quick during practice. We're going to see if that translates over here to qualifying. One tricky turn that we have to talk about, and that is going into turn one. There's an elevation change, and if you don't hit that quite right, it will upset the car and send you up the hill towards the wall, so you have to be very careful there. Back stretch is pretty normal. 3 and 4, pretty normal. You're going to have to brake just a little bit as the tires wear in. Let off that gas pedal, tap the brakes, get off, and get back on the fuel, but it's going to be interesting. Ooh, Wagner scraping the wall in this lap, not going to count, but he was on the pole already by virtue of his first lap, a 31.327. Excuse me, yeah, we're going to know that since it just wiped it out. 29.585. It just corrected itself. On board the 72, Ken Yantz, he came across the line, second place so far in qualifying. He had a 29.768, the 72, Kenneth Yantz. Picking up Vic Bloom in the 77. And Rick, you saw something very interesting. You actually alerted me of it during practice, and I hope this isn't something that happens during the race, but why don't you tell everybody about it?
Yeah, I was watching Vic Bloom practice there with Shane DiMattova there in the 20 machine, Chris, and actually Vic Bloom was driving inside that car. The number 77 was actually sitting inside the 20, and it was kind of interesting because he actually backed out there for a little bit, so you'd think that iRacing would have maybe caught the fact that, okay, now there's a solid car there, but no, he went right through him again, so kind of interesting there. We'll see what the 77 can do tonight, Chris. Right now he's sitting in second with a 29.328.
Yeah, Lee Grande in the 7 car, taking over the pole with a 29.180. Shane DiMattova checking in. Shane, how you doing, bud? Hope you have a good race. Vic Bloom getting around this track pretty well. Rick, second spot right now at 29.328. And right now, man, Lee has got this place on lockdown as he is fast by like 0.2 of a second.
That number 7 Chevy Camaro, definitely fast, Chris. Like you said, it's locked right in there. Number 1, the number 5 car has taken over second place, Chris.
Yeah, Hager, and he just gets into the wall, so this lap will not count. He had a good one going and probably just a little too much speed trying to carry in as he scrapes the wall and the 5 shuts it down. Matt Gruenberg, second place points runner out there in the 54. Nice and low into that corner, looking good in the 54. Oh, scrapes a wall, so he was pushing pretty hard. Keeps his foot in it. That lap will not count. Any incident points during your qualifying run will void the lap, but Gruenberg didn't lose a lot of momentum. Feels like he can get it back here on the second lap. Matt Gruenberg in the 54, heading down the backstretch into turns 3 and 4. These cars looking so good tonight under the lights.
That they definitely are. I noticed as they're coming through the tribal, Chris, I mean, turn 4 comes out kind of at you, kind of fast. I mean, we've seen not only has Matt Gruenberg hit the wall, but we had a couple other drivers that have also hit that wall as they're going through, and that really upsets the car, obviously. I mean, as we saw Thomas Wagner there, it really caused him to shoot right down into that inside wall. So we'll see what Matt Gruenberg can do as he's going around again.
J.R. Hager also checking in on chat. Good to have you guys out there. I know you're busy driving, but thanks for checking in. We do appreciate it. Now get out there and drive. I want to see a good race. That's what we came for. That's what we bought the ticket for, Rick. To see a good race.
These guys, they never disappoint, Chris. We're in for a really good show here tonight under the lights at Charlotte Motor Speedway. I mean, the track has been updated. It looks nice. The wall paintings have all changed. Looks really good. And I'm excited for this.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about that too. Tom Wagner checking in. His wrist hurts. Thomas Wagner proving just how realistic iRacing is last week when he hit the inside retaining wall and actually fractured a bone in his wrist. Unbelievable.
Yeah, you know, those direct drive wheels, Chris, they have a lot of power into them.
We joke because we care.
That's right. And if the nurse that he got the number from is watching, welcome to MaxSpeedTV.
J.R. Hager, he has run his laps. He's sitting on pit road. James Miller also sitting on pit road. The 45, Troy Leonard out there on track getting ready to qualify.
Well, Lee, thank you for checking in. Are we saying your name right? Is it just Granty?
We are not afraid, Lee. We'll either say it right or we'll say it wrong, but we're going to say it one way or the other.
That's right. You just wait. I mean, you can ask the number 6 driver how well we are with names. Poor Kevin G.
No, it didn't work out. You got the number and it didn't work out. Oh man. Too similar of a profession.
You're saying that money on that 54, that's probably a safe bet to put your money, buddy. I mean, I know you're going to be out there, you're going to give it your all, but man, Matt Gruenberg. That's the thing, Chris. I'm looking at the qualifying time. The 54 has not actually taken... So that damage, I think you have to stop the car when you get some kind of X before it takes it. That 54 Matt Grunberg, he's out there just using qualifying time, or qualifying, for a little extra practice here.
You know, we've seen that out of Matt for a couple of weeks here where he really doesn't care where he qualifies. He usually ends up top anyway. Oh, we're on board with Miller in a brand new paint job. Let's see. I'm trying to explain this. How do I explain a Canadian driving around in an American flag car? I can't. James Miller going to try again. He hit the wall. Going to reset that car. Grunberg just putting some laps down, trying to figure everything out. Nothing wrong with that. And James Miller coming back out on track.
You know, she can make fun of there, Mr. Wagner, as much as she wants until her house burns down. You know what I'm saying? Then who's she going to call? The cops?
All right, James Miller, the leader in points coming into tonight. He's got the lead over Matt Grunberg by 29 points, Rick. That 25 looking good out there. I do like the paint scheme. I pick, again, because I care. But the 25 out there looking good on this second try. He did have a first try at the run, hit the wall before he crossed the start-finish line. Reset that car and is back out there.
Well, a little bit of updating news. Oh, Kevin Giedrich, man, he just took the pole from Eric Lyda with a 29.142. Lyda came in with a 29.150. So that's pretty close there, but Kevin G, that 6 machine is fast tonight, my friend.
Yeah, the 1 Sim 6 of Kevin. He is rocking and rolling out there. That is a fast time, man. 29.142. And James Miller in the 25 right now, sitting in 7th spot on the qualifying run. We've got a couple more out there. Matt's still driving around. Jake McDonald in the 15 getting set to qualify, Rick. He heads into turn number 1. Be careful again of that little elevation change. That can really upset a car. Sends you right to the outside wall. You got to be careful there. It's bitten me a few times.
Oh yeah, I mean that's one of the points. You actually taught me that on this track, Chris, as we're going around there. You hit that one little bump and it really does upset that car and it really throws you off to your line that you're trying to race. So that's something definitely we're going to be looking out for tonight as these guys tackle 130 laps, 195 miles.
Oh, looky there. Looky. We have a checkered flag getting ready to go racing, Rick. It's amazing how it stops so suddenly, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Jake McDonald going to be on the pole here tonight as we get ready to go through the grid. Just waiting for some drivers to get out there.
McDonald had a really good lap there.
Yeah, he really did. Guys, we're going to be right back. Going to do a little grid music as these guys get their cars set. We'll be right back. And we are ready to roll these cars out to get this race started. Starting on the pole, racer number 15, Jake McDonald. On his outside, in car number 6, Kevin Giedrich. Kevin, I am going to keep murdering your name, buddy. I am so sorry. It just is what it is. Let's try this again. Starting in 3rd. He's not out there right now. Don't know what's going on, but Lee Reddy is going to be starting in 4th. J.R. Hager, he let it be known. He's got a new sponsor out there, FSR. And J.R. Hager is going to be starting in 5th, Rick.
Now we have the number 77, Vic Bloom, going to be starting in 6th. We got Troy Leonard in the 45 starting 7th. James D. Miller in the number 25 machine going to be starting 8th. We got Thomas Wagner in the 43 starting 9th. Shane DiMatova in that 20 machine, he qualified in 10th place, Chris. We got 11th place Kenneth Younts out there. We got the 54 Matt Grunberg sitting in 12th. And rounding out the field, Logan Simmons in that number 70 machine.
All right. Finally did get it working right. And third belongs to Eric Light, although it is not showing that something's messed up, but hopefully it'll fix itself. I'm sure it will. These guys going around this track. It's a 1.5 mile long track. Rick Pace car comes down pit road. We're getting set to go to the green flag. Start this race off. First scheduled caution at lap 30. Jake McDonald in control, and he hits the go button. Green flag is waving as we set to go 195 miles here tonight in Charlotte.
Ooh, we got some 3 wide racing right at the start of the race.
We've
there.
got one going around. I believe that was Kevin. Yeah, it was. Kevin definitely involved with that one. That 06, many positions back from where he was. Let's go back on the Max Speed instant replay and take a look and see what happened on that start. Okay, it was not Kevin. He was to the back of the field.
Now, it looks like Kevin was able to get around, Chris. It was the number 5 car getting into it with James D. Miller. Shane DiMatova also caught up in that mess.
Yep, we're going to go back to it right now. Or maybe. We're going to try. A wild way to start this one. J.R. Hager to the inside. He has a 25 car. 25 actually goes down. He was looking to not be 3 wide. Gets into the 5. The 5 did everything he could to save it. He was rocking that steering wheel back and forth. Not able to do it. A little bit of contact there. I don't know. Rick, it's probably going to hurt him just a little bit. And not the way you want to start the race. Do you see the damage there on the left side of that 5 car? And a little bit on the back bumper. That spoiler in the back. Also a little crinkle. So he's got a little work for his crew to do. And this is going to get us right back to what I was saying before. You have 28 laps you know you can do on fuel. Somebody was going to have to pit. Now you're under caution. Throw that out the window.
Well, exactly. I mean, I know we're only on lap 3 of 130, Chris, but as we said, you know, stage racing here at Relentless, so these guys are going to be ending their first stage at lap 30. And the fuel estimates are about 28 laps. So, hey, why not come in under caution? You already ran 2 laps, and you're going to go back out there. So now you're going to be able to hopefully make it down through until the end of stage 1.
From 6 on back, everybody deciding, hey, why not? Well, listen to Rick. We're going down pit road. From 5th forward, nobody's biting.
And, you know, that might bite him at the end, Chris. I mean, obviously, fresh tires here is going to be a good thing. But when you only have 2 laps, I don't know if it's really going to, you know, help that much. You might gain a spot or 2. But, you know, I think the guys that came in did a really smart thing. I would have probably done the same thing if I was out there on track with these guys tonight. Jake McDonald still leading this race, Chris. He had a really good restart. Then we had to do Lee Grandy. I'm not sure. See, I haven't been out in the service since the new build, Chris, and I know that they changed a lot of things with the transmission. So if these guys are using the actual transmission, it's not like where it was before, where you could just kind of let off the gas a little bit and jam it into gear and, you know, blimp it. And it doesn't work that way anymore. I mean, these cars actually stall out now.
Yeah, something to be aware of when you're out there driving. 500 horsepower under the right foot.
I mean, I'm going to try my hardest tomorrow, I think, to do a little bit of practice, see what these guys are doing, how it is out in the car. I mean, it's good for us as broadcasters to kind of know, you know, how the builds change. I mean, iRacing doing a fabulous job, Chris. I mean, they're updating a lot of the tracks. They got the day-night transition. You know, we were watching there a couple races last week there where we're under the lights, and we'll see it here too. You see those rotors really started glowing, so they really do a lot of things, and I've been working on a lot of things. Definitely got to tip my hat to iRacing.
Yeah, we're heading down the backstretch. Rick, pace car lights are off. cars are filed in 2 by 2. We're getting set to go back to green flag racing. It's McDonald, Leida, and Gruenberg, your top 3 here. McDonald in the top spot will control the field, coming to the green flag as the pace car drops down onto pit road here very, very shortly. Coming out of turn number 4 right now, the 70 with a blink before we get going. That's Logan Simmons. Watch out for him. 15 now in control of the car. Jake McDonald hits the loud button. We are going back green flag racing. McDonald with a really good restart. He is gone. Matt Gruenberg looking to try and follow suit. He does. Matt Gruenberg works his way up to second. Eric Leida giving up position on the outside to Gruenberg.
Let's quickly talk about Gruenberg, Chris. He is actually up 10 positions from the start of this race. He started in 12th, sitting in second right now. And this is where we've always seen Matt Gruenberg. You know, he's always, I mean, he's a stage king, let me tell you. So keep your eye on that number 54. But Eric Leida right there. Eric Leida's had a good week last week. He started right where he is right now, 3rd place, doing what he has to do. Definitely don't cat out Mr. Leida.
Bloom in the 77, straightened up the wall. Hasn't lost position yet, but maybe working on it now as Lee Grande is on the inside the 7 car, looking to make some hay as he is starting to move himself forward up to 7th now in the 7 car.
Yeah, Grandy's got a little time to make up, Chris. He's not doing too bad. He's only lost 4 positions since the start of this race. Now 3. Doing what he has to do. I mean, he just had a really poor start of the race there. And again, that could have been something to do with the new transmission models that they have here in iRacing. But doing a really good job is putting a lot of pressure on the number 70, Logan Simmons, right now, trying to take over 6th place. And it looks like he's going to go on the inside. Right now, they're kind of evened up, Chris. But the number 7 really has kind of the preferred line. It's going to be interesting to see what happens right now. Logan Simmons says, this is my spot, son.
Yeah, Logan has been kind of running that higher line. It's paying off for him so far, running in 6th spot in the number 70 car. Lee's got to try and figure that out because Logan able to hold on to that momentum, that precious momentum that keeps these cars up to speed. And look at him, we'll go in that corner. Now he is getting in the gas a little sooner, you can tell, because he starts floating up towards the corner a little sooner than Lee does. And Lee is going to end up figuring that out, and he'll match pace with him here pretty quick. Up front, race leader Jake McDonald with a 0.3 of a second lead over the 54 of Matt Gruenberg. James Miller has moved up to 3rd, past Eric Leida in the 33. Leida sitting in 4th, but here comes Kevin in the 6 car. Kevin G looking to make his way back to the front in the 6. You know, he's used to being up there, Rick, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens when he gets there. He did the same thing, though. He kind of floated up towards the top and came down. The 70's nose was there. They made slight contact. Able to keep it going in the 6. He decides he's going to the inside. Eric Leida under the gun, able to hold position. The 6 is a little bit tight there as he starts moving up. The 70 gets out of the way, almost loses it, holds on to it, and the 7 looks like he's going to follow Logan Simmons all the way through. Kevin maybe going the wrong way. He is under attack.
He's under attack from both sides. You saw Troy Leonard there in the 45 Coke machine, the Coke Life machine. I love that car. That paint job looks beautiful under the lights. It looks good in the sunshine too. But Troy Leonard doing a fabulous job as he's putting a lot of pressure on the back bumper there, Kevin G, and that number 6 machine, Chris.
Kevin just backing off a little bit, maybe to catch his breath. Some exciting action there for a couple of laps. Needs to regain some composure and start marching his way back up towards the front of the field. The 70, Logan Simmons is, well, he just blinked, and he's back. Something to be watchful for. Logan Simmons on the inside. The 7, Lee Grady, looking like he wants to battle on the outside. Has to be careful. What I'm seeing here tonight, Rick, is a very tight track. Everybody's kind of moving up through the corners. that could spell disaster if you're in the wrong spot too wide.
Well, you're absolutely right, Chris. I mean, Logan Simmons having a little bit of blinking issues there, connection issues. We've seen it before. And that's something that's scary for these drivers. I mean, when you're in a pack like this, you want to know where everybody is. And when a car blinks off the track like that, you just pray that he's holding his line, doing what he has to do until he pops on. But right now, Logan Simmons falls back to 8th. Troy Leonard in that number 45 moves up to 7th, Chris. You got Kevin G. He's in the 6th car, sitting in 6th position. Lee Granny, he's up there in that 7. He just knocked into the top 5, Chris.
Yeah, good job by Lee. And look up front. We have a new leader. Matt Gruenberg was able to go around race leader Jake McDonald 4 laps ago as he crossed the start-finish line. Gruenberg right where he wants to be, looking to try and win another stage. He's got 15 laps to hold on, but James Miller is right behind him. Miller came into tonight first place in points. Gruenberg came in second. These two have been battling all season long.
Yeah, they definitely have, Chris. I mean, it's no surprise. Wherever you see Matt Gruenberg, usually you're going to find James D. Miller in that number 25 machine doing what he has to do. And there they are once again, 1 and 2. Miller has just a little bit of a gap to make up. It ain't big. It's .333 right now, gap to the leader. But listen, when you get Matt Gruenberg up there in front, Chris, in that nice clean air, no other cars around him, he just really settles in, does what he has to do, and he is really hard to knock off that number 1 position.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on the gap to the leader as Miller .348 right now to Gruenberg up front. As we have kind of settled in, we're running single file through most of the field right now, Rick. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. We're going to knock off some laps here. They know they have a caution coming out in about 13 laps. And Gruenberg starting to open that gap up. It is up to 0.7 of a second now. And look at the 7 go. Jake McDonald, or excuse me, Lee Grandy. I said McDonald because Grandy was passing him. Grandy has worked his way up to 3rd spot now. And he is putting the challenge on points leader James Miller. Grandy looking on the inside. Miller may not have anything for him as he pushed up on the track and Miller is getting past. Lee Grandy is on track and he is on fire.
He is Lee coming in. I believe this might be the first time that he's been racing with these guys, Chris. Gets into James Miller just a little bit there. The 7 got a little tight there. But yeah, he is on a tear right now, just trying to get back up. I mean, he started this race 4th. Right now, he is sitting in 2nd position, trying to catch up to to Matt Gruenberg. Kevin Jeterich, I just messed up his name because he just popped up on my screen, Chris. He's moved his way up to 3rd position, doing what he has to do in that number 6 machine. The one sim guy is doing a great job out there tonight. Jake McDonald in the number 15 fell back to 4th. Eric Lyda sitting in 5th. That rounds up the top 5. James D. Miller, we just saw him. He was actually sitting in 2nd, Chris. He fell back to 6th. Logan Simmons in the 70 sitting in 7th. Troy Leonard in the 45 8th. J.R. Hager in 9th. And the 77 of Vic Bloom rounding out the top 10.
Yeah, Kenneth Jans, Shane DiMattova, and Thomas Wagner rounding out the field. Wagner down 2 laps right now, having some early issues. Did come down pit road 3 laps ago, so that does account for one of those laps down, as it's almost impossible to pit here without going a lap down under green flag conditions.
Yeah, so there, Wagner just got into the wall, Chris. He's got a lot of cars around him right now doing what they have to do. Thomas Wagner, like I said, just bumped into the wall, lost a little bit more momentum. He's trying to get around James Miller in that 25, trying to get around the 70. Right now, they're just racing. Everyone's getting tight, bumping up into the walls. Wagner's able to get around both those guys. Now he's putting Eric Lyda into his crosshairs, trying to get those laps back the old-fashioned way. And let me tell you, that number 43 Red Bull car, it is fast right now, Chris.
Now, he's got those fresh tires, and he really has to use them up. Cannot afford to still be 2 laps down when we hit the caution. He'll only get 1 back at that point. Right now, Thomas Wagner still the only driver a lap down. He is 2 laps down, and he's got a little ground to make up. I definitely see what his strategy is, though. Those fresh tires making a world of difference. Back up front, looking at the number 54, Matt Gruenberg doing a great job in that number
54 Toyota Camry, Chris. Right now, he's opened up that gap to 1.266, now 1.366 seconds, doing what he has to do. Lee Grandy trying to figure out what is going on, trying to catch up to him. Got a little bit of ground to make, though.
Yeah, the PRJ Toyota Camry looking pretty good up front as Matt Grunberg has this one pretty handily right now. 1.249 is the gap back to Lee Grandy. Lee in the 7 car, first time out with the Relentless Racing Series. And that 7 car looking strong tonight, qualified 4th. He's worked his way up the 2nd spot. Behind him, Kevin Jetersich. And Kevin, man, he was doing a good job too. He started in 2nd all the way to the end of the field at one point, and he is working his way back up. He is in 3rd spot right now. Jake McDonald started this one on the pole, and Jake came in here 9th in points. He's currently running in 4th position right now with a 15, but he has Eric Lyda in his rearview mirror, the 33, looking to the inside, trying for position. Lap 25 of 130. 5 more laps to go before we hit our first scheduled caution flag here, as that will be the end of the stage. Lyda able to get around McDonald. Logan Simmons in the 70. A little bit of damage to the right side of that 75. We've seen him bounce off the wall a couple of times, Rick, but he's still fast. Oh, he just did it again as we were talking about him. And a lot allowed for the 45 of Troy Leonard to get around him for 6th spot. Logan now 7th. Vic Bloom in the 77, running in the 8th spot. And Vic looking to try and get up front, but he's one of those kind of wait and be patient drivers. We'll see how that does for him tonight. J.R. Hager, fresh paint screen, fresh sponsor. The Full Send Racing, I like it. FSR on that number 5 car, looking good out there, JR. 72, Ken Yance, no stranger to me or Rick. We've both raced against Ken a couple of times. Very clean driver. He's out there sitting in the top 10. James Miller. Boy, it wasn't that long ago, Rick, was it, when we saw him up in 2nd spot. Now he is back in 11th, not liking this car on those older tires. Must be. Shane DiMontova, the last car on the lead lap. He's sitting in 12th spot after starting in 10th. Shane's one of those patient drivers. Watch out for him. And last on the field, Thomas Wagner. Broken wrist and all. Thomas Wagner out there in the 43 trying to get it done. He has gotten one of his laps back from Matt Grunberg. Those fresh tires really trying to help him out. And if the caution falls, or when we get to that stage, he will get that lap back, and that'll put him back on the lead lap. So those fresh tires, Rick, that worked out for him this time.
Oh, it definitely did. I mean, obviously the number 54 is right there behind him, Chris, but like you said, we got 1 lap left before the stage ends. So that's going to enable, just like you said, Wagner to get his lap back and get back onto the lead lap here and have fun. But let me tell you, Matt Grunberg, right now, he is the biggest mover of the race, Chris. He has moved up to 11 positions tonight. You got the 7 who's moved up 2 positions. 45 moved up 1. Kenneth Janssen, we talked about him. You're absolutely right. We both know him. We've seen him on the track multiple times and raced against him. He's moved up 2. And then the 70 machine also moving up 2. Everybody else is kind of falling back 1 or 2 spots. But there's the end of stage 1. Matt Grunberg, once again, stage 1 winner.
Grunberg takes the stage, and honestly, it's getting to be habit for him as Grunberg gets that bonus point for leading the stage. We are on lap 30 of 130, and we're getting ready to do some pit stops. Thomas Wagner can breathe a sigh of relief. He will be getting that lap back. Logan Simmons, Shane DiMontova coming down pit road early, trying to get a jump on the field there. We'll see how that works out. We're going to let this all sort out. We know we have caution on the track. We know we're going to have pit stops happening.
He was in TeamSpeak.
So after pit stops, we are going to try and get Matt Gruenberg in TeamSpeak with us. Try and figure out how his race is going. We think we know how it's going, Rick, and I think it's going pretty dang good.
Yeah, I mean, Mr. Stage. That's what we're going to call him, King Stage Man. You know, coming out here, winning another stage here, Chris. Unfortunately, he is not on TeamSpeak here.
You know, it's always the way, isn't it?
It is.
All right, so Matt Gruenberg not in TeamSpeak. We're looking through the list, and we're going to find somebody to talk to. I believe Rick is looking around right now. We'll see what he's come up with.
J.R. Hager, the driver of the number 5 FSR Ford Mustang. You got Rick and Chris up in the booth. You got a copy?
10-4.
Hey, buddy, listen, you've fallen back 3 positions. Tell us a little bit how the race is doing out there. How's your car feeling?
Well, the race is going pretty good here. The outside, it seems that after about 7 laps, the outside's starting to come in, but it's not really that fast unless I'm up there running it, you know. But car's feeling pretty good. I think we have a pretty good shot to get top 5 here tonight, but it's going to be hard to beat that number 54 in that team. They've put together one heck of a car there.
Yeah, that's definitely, I mean, Matt Gruenberg coming in here winning stage 1 once again, man. But listen, that number 5 Mustang looks really good out there. We're going to put you back down with the team, and good luck out there, bro.
Yep, you too.
Thank you.
So that was J.R. Hager, driver of the number 5 with his fresh paint job, although not so fresh, as you can see the scrape marks on the right-hand side. We'll have to get that repaired a little bit later. So far, not affecting speed. Your race leader, the 54, Matt Gruenberg. Matt's going to have a different challenger this time, though, Rick. He's got Eric Lida right behind him.
Yeah, Lida, we've seen him multiple times this season so far, Chris. I mean, we're on, what, race 8 of 24 weeks. Every point matters here, and these guys race for every single little point that they can possibly get. But Lida has always done a good job when he gets up front. Usually he's one of those cool, calm, and collected drivers, Chris, that kind of hangs back, just, you know, does his thing, waits till after stage 2, and then he really pours it on towards the end of the race. But the number 33 Camry looking really good out there tonight.
Yeah, Camry's looking good. I gotta say, though, it's no Ford. There, I said it. Oh, I said it.
That's okay. If you've noticed, all the Fords are back there. Well, the first one's in 5th place.
Well, J.R. Hager, see, he's the kind of guy I like there driving that Mustang. Very limited field. I think it's unfair. It's mostly Toyotas and Chevys out there.
We do have some Mustangs out there. You got Thomas Wagner out there in a Mustang. Shane DiMatova riding in the Blue Oval also. So it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, obviously here in iRacing, just like in real life, I mean, these cars are basically all the same. These guys know what they have to do, fix setups, having a good old time out there. Now, there is one pass repair here at Relentless Racing. And if you notice, there's a lot of cars out there and a lot of viewers out there, which I want to thank for a moment. Just take a second and just say, hey, listen, thank you for coming out here on a Friday night with Chris and I here at MaxSpeedTV watching all this awesome action of the Relentless Racing Series. But, you know, it's just, it is what it is. I mean, these guys are going to pour it on, and we're in for some good racing. It looks like Matt Gruenberg is actually opting to take the outside lane, Chris, which is going to leave Eric Lida there on the inside.
Matt Gruenberg is going to restart from the lead on the outside. Lida will have to do it from the inside. Lee Grady lost 1 position on pit road in the 7 vehicle. Going to be restarting in 3rd, and he's in good company because on his outside is the 45 Troy Leonard. We're
you know,
on the
Chris,
back stretch, Rick.
We are. And one thing that, really quick, one thing that's kind of interesting, usually here at Charlotte, the inside lane's where everybody wants to be, but it seems the outside lane is really working for everybody tonight here under the lights. So it's going to be interesting to see what Matt Gruenberg can do. I mean, he's got some stiff competition there. There's a lot of hungry guys out there, and we're getting ready to go green.
Pace car still out there pacing this field around this 1.5 mile long track.
Since it's a Mustang, I think it's looking for the biggest crowd it can possibly find, Chris, and he found it. And Matt Grunberg found the go button also. Man, look at him take off in that number 54 Toyota.
Gruenberg wasted no time hitting that loud pedal as he is in turn 1, making it turn 2. Going to be on the back stretch. Matt Gruenberg getting it done in the 54. Eric Lyda's like, hey, I didn't even have a chance. Well, I'll sit here in second. Leonard in the 45 going, I don't know about that. I think I might like to take a peek at second spot. Troy Leonard in the 45 racing it strong tonight. Lee Granny fell back that one position to Troy at the very get-go of this run. Look for him. Boy, he was fast towards the end of that last run, Rick.
Yeah, he definitely was, Chris. Speaking of Eric Lyda, though, I mean, he was probably sitting there, his crew chief and spotter, like, okay, buddy, give them belts one more tug. We're getting ready to go. And never mind, he's already gone for Eric Lyda. But he's doing a good job sitting in second right now. Troy Leonard sitting in third, like you said. Lee Grandy doing what he has to do. He's putting a little pressure on Troy in that number 45. That 7 machine's all very fast tonight, Chris, and he's going to be looking. I mean, all these guys with fresh tires, they're looking to go.
We've got fresh tires, Rick, and even though we don't have quite the right camera for it, I say we crank it up.
Let's crank it up, buddy.
Man, I certainly do love doing a little crank it up. And you know who else does too? I think he got so excited he disconnected Rick AFK. I am running this one solo until he figures out he's not connected anymore. He's probably talking to himself. He's so excited for the crank it up. 54, Matt Gruenberg out there up front. He's got a 1.9 second lead over second place runner in the 33, Eric Lyda. Lee Granty, he is ready to go in that 7 car. He has made it back up to 3rd spot, puts Troy Leonard back to 4th, and it looks like Rick Hammond may be trying to rejoin. Definitely got a little too excited on that crank it up. J.R. Hager in the 5 car. He is running in 5th spot with Kenneth Yance right behind him. Yance may be under pressure very soon. He's got the 77 of Vic Bloom and James Miller in the 25 right behind him. That's going to be a battle, a 3-car battle for 6th spot. Ken Yance holding him off right now. The battle is on, though, for 6th position. Shane DiMontova in the 20. He's running in 9th spot with Logan Simmons. We saw him earlier hit the wall, and as we were doing that crank it up, you saw a lot of cars out there with damage to the right front. And there's Kevin G running in 11th spot in that 6 car. Look for him to try and move up towards the front with Thomas Wagner behind him and Jake McDonald in the 15th. Your pole sitter here tonight. Not happy with that 15. It looks like he may be bringing it down pit road as he is running last on the field, 2 laps down. Matt Grunberg still the race leader, and that gap is stretching out. 2.1 seconds now over 2nd place, Lee Grandy. Lee was able to get around Eric Lyda in the 33, so Matt may have a new challenger trying to catch his back bumper, and it's Lee Grandy here in his first race with Relentless Racing Series. Rick is trying to fix whatever issue I think I'm still going to say he was just too excited for the crank it up. Couldn't hang around with me anymore. But I'm sure he's going to be back here in just a moment. He is working on it on his end, trying to rejoin the race. That's pretty excited, folks. When you are so excited, you totally lose connection. Eric Lyda in the 33 has slid back to 4th spot. Troy Leonard in the 45. Now in the top 3, Troy Leonard in the 45 looking strong tonight as we're on lap number 49. I don't know why it's doing that. I just saw that. There we go. That's better. Lap 60 is going to be the end of the 2nd stage. That's 10 laps from now. Lee Grandy trying to figure out a way to catch Matt Grunberg. He is chipping into that. Oh, we're under caution. Under caution. And I'm not sure. Let's go back and take a look at Vic Bloom.
Well, Chris, I am back, and I am seeing the 15 smoke in the 77. Vic Bloom lost it there a little bit also.
Welcome back, bud.
Thank you. That cranked it up, man. It sent me for a tear, let me tell you. Xfinity Network could not handle it.
Okay, well, we're going to have to say that whatever it was, Lord, still haven't figured it out.
You know, I'm really not sure either, because I'm watching the number 15, Jake McDonald, right now.
Oh, there it is. The 25 and the 77 of Vic Bloom were getting ready to battle. The 15 of Jake McDonald was there. That cut off a lot of room. The 25 ends up getting into the 77, and that is what brought out this caution. Leaders are on pit road. So this is going to get very, very interesting. Because we've got 8 laps right now to get to the end of the 2nd stage. And it looks like Grunberg going to win the battle off from pit road with Shane DiMontova coming out in 2nd spot. Looks like he may have only taken right side tires. Dimantova trying to make this one count, as he knows there's going to be another caution here in about 6 laps or so when we finally go back to green.
Yeah, Dimantova definitely had a fast pit stop, Chris. 7.52 seconds. So definitely a little bit of fuel, maybe a couple of tires, and that was it. And man, did that help him out tremendously, Chris. As you said, I mean, he was started this race in 10th. Now he's sitting in 2nd, so that is just outstanding.
Yeah, that is definitely going to put him in a position to try and beat Matt Gruenberg, captain stage, to lap 60 and try and win the 2nd stage, Rick. This is going to get interesting. Lee Granny has lost, well, he was in 2nd when he came in. He's out in 4th. He's lost 2 positions. One to Troy Leonard, who took 4 tires based on his time on pit road. And Shade Dimantova definitely really pulling out a stop here, as he took what I assume is 2 tires to try and get up towards the front. And up towards the front he is. He is going to be starting on the front row. And now we have to figure out which lane is Matt going to take when we go back to green flag. He started the last one on the outside, and it really did work out well for him.
It definitely did, Chris. Now, you know me. Whenever we get into broadcasting a league, I always like to find that certain driver that I really like watching grow throughout the season. Troy Leonard is one of those guys that I love watching, Chris. He was always running in the mid-pack there last season, doing what he had to do. But let me tell you, he's got that 45 tuned in this season. He's been running up front quite a bit. I'm happy to see that number 45 up there. Not going to count him out for the race. Eric Lyda, he's another driver that I love watching, Chris. You know, he's just one of those drivers that's just nice, respectable, clean, does his thing. Doesn't matter where he starts, where he finishes. He's always a joy to talk to. But, you know, the guy really works hard, and it's been nice seeing these guys running up front.
Yeah, and J.R. Hager decided he was going to use his quick repair. Couldn't stand seeing that number 5 all beat up on the stream anymore, so he went out and got himself a new car. And that number 5 looking good again. Pace car lights should be shutting off here. And that'll give us 5 laps to go before the end of the stage. 2 caution flags have flown for actual incidents on track. 1 has flown for the end of stage 1. The second one getting ready to fly here at lap 60. Matt Gruenberg up front with Shane Dimantova to the inside. So Gruenberg decides that he's going to take the outside. That's going to let Lee Grandy be on his outside, or with Matt Gruenberg on the outside. Troy Leonard going to be on the inside along with Shane Dimantova. So the last time we went back to green flag racing, Matt Gruenberg was right where he is now, and he wasted no time, Rick. As soon as that pace car took the hard left-hand turn, Gruenberg hit that loud pedal, and he was gone.
Yeah, I mean, now he's got somebody else on his outside, Shane Dimantova. Shane's one of those, another driver that's just he just hasn't had the luck that he's wanted, but he's a very respectful driver, very clean, does what he has to do. That Ford Mustang's banged up a little bit, but it's gonna be interesting to see what can happen here with Matt Gruenberg. I'm sure Shane Dimantova is really watching as that pace car goes off right now. And actually, you just saw there, Shane getting a little bit of a jump. He's on there, and I think Matt Gruenberg actually noticed that. Whoa, Shane Dimantova, Chris.
Yeah, he spun the tires, Rick, and that forces the crowd to go 3 wide behind him. Whew, that is an uncomfortable feeling, boy, when you spin those tires. That's what happens, though. Sometimes you pit 2 tires. Man, it's a shame right there.
Well, I don't think it was only that, Chris, either. I mean, I saw that he was trying to, you know, he not really jumping the start. I won't say that, but he was really getting on the gas a little bit there, and I think Gruenberg saw that and noticed that as soon as Dimantova let off a little bit, that's when Gruenberg hit that go button, and it really worked out for him. But look who's in second, Chris, number 7, Lee Grandy, doing what he had to do. Man, he started 4th tonight. He's sitting in second. I mean, he's falling back a little bit, coming back up through the field. Lee definitely having the night that he's wanted.
Yeah, Lee is very, very fast here at Charlotte. he is actually catching Matt Gruenberg right now. And he's got J.R. Hager right behind him. That fresh-looking number 5, it's found some extra speed. He went from 5th all the way up to 3rd. Behind him, he's got Troy Leonard and Eric Lyda. Lyda to the inside of Leonard. Lyda looking to try and march his way up towards the front. And he makes that pass. Does Eric Lyda. That vaults him to position number 4. Leonard now in 5th spot. Vic Bloom right behind. A little further back, we've got the 6 car starting to march his way forward. Kevin G. definitely on the move. He's got Shane DiMontoba, who just started on the inside of the front row in 2nd spot. He is all the way back in 8th spot, going 3 wide here just for a moment, as Ken Yance was able to get around him, and now Kevin and James Miller.
Yeah, they're trying to find his lane of where he wants to go. Kenneth Yunson, that number 72, Chris, blocking just a little bit there. Caused Kevin to go up a little high, but that's okay because that 6 is fast up on that outside lane. But look who's right there also, the 25, James D. Miller. Trying to figure out, they're looking to take it on. James Miller right now on the inside of the 72. Trying to take over 8th position, which he does.
Yeah, Gruenberg right now crosses the start-finish line. We're under caution once again, and this time for Stage 2 winner Matt Gruenberg, who again sweeps the stages here, Rick. Matt Gruenberg in the 54 is a stage machine. I think he knows he has a challenger note. Lee Grandy was catching the back bumper of the 54. Now these guys were just on pit road 8 laps ago. They know they're going to have to make at least 2 more stops before the end of this one. It would be 3 if they stop this time by. I believe they will. It seems like about 5 or 6 laps and you start losing a little bit of time on track. Can't afford that. Going to bring it down pit road, says leader Matt Gruenberg. And that means... Ooh, somebody stayed out. Figure out who stayed out there.
I would like to help you, but I kind of just went away there again for a second, Chris. I'm not sure what's going on with the internet here tonight.
Oh, I see. James Miller in the 25 decides it's time now to get my bonus point for leading a lap. And the 25 is staying out.
You know, and every time he's done this, Chris, throughout the season, it actually worked out for James Miller. I mean, he's going to get that bonus point, which he desperately needs. I mean, it is a long season, so every point counts. And that's exactly what he's out there doing. We've seen him doing multiple times throughout the season, doing what he has to do. And then he's going to come down pit road. He's going to get his service done. And then he's going to rejoin the end of the field. And then we're going to get to see that 25 work all the way back up through. And he's going to do it. You mark my words on it.
All right, looks like Rick is picking Miller to win this one. I'm going to go with newcomer Lee Granny in the 7. He has shown some really impressive speed here. Hasn't been able to get past Matt Gruenberg yet. But I think if we would have stayed green, if that stage didn't happen, I think that would be a little bit different right now, as James Miller peels off to come down and get service to the 25 car. And that'll put Matt Gruenberg up front once again. So it'll be Gruenberg, Vic Bloom, James Miller's down pit road. It'll be Lee Granny in 3rd. J.R. Hager 4th. Eric Lyda will be finishing out the top 5.
Now, I'm not saying that James Miller's going to win, Chris. I mean, it's kind of up in the air right now. So far, though, looking at the races so far this season, the season opener at Daytona, Kevin Giadrich won that one. Matt Gruenberg won race number 2 at Atlanta. Jason Jacoby, who we're missing tonight, won race number 3 in Las Vegas. Dover International Speedway, Pedro Omega, another person we're missing tonight, Chris. James Miller won over there in Martinsville. James Miller also won at New Smyrna. And Matt Grunberg, once again, wins Pocono last week. So it's going to be interesting to see. But, I mean, that's just what James Miller does, though. I mean, we've seen it multiple times. He will stay out there. He'll sacrifice a little bit of time so that way he can get that bonus point. And those bonus points, as we talked about, every little bit helps. And that's exactly what these guys are doing.
Matt Grunberg waiting patiently for the pace car lights to go off to try and get this one back under green flag conditions. Yet another challenger to the throne. It's going to be the 77 of Vic Bloom. The 54, it looks like he's going to choose the outside once again. That'll pit Vic Bloom to the inside. The 7 car, Lee Granny, going to also be starting on the inside with J.R. Hager to the outside. J.R. Hager is going to have the best seat in town, Rick, because he's going to be behind the race leader of Matt Grunberg. He's going to be able to tell everything he's doing, going to be able to tell when he gets on the gas. He may have an advantage here running in that position. Pace car lights are off. We've got a mile and a half to go before we're back under green flag conditions. And so far, Matt Grunberg has led 51 laps of the 63 run here tonight. Jake McDonald, who's currently running in 13th position, 5 laps down, led 10. And we just saw James Miller stay out under caution to pick up his bonus point. Miller, a very good points racer. And Matt Grunberg, no slouch himself, as he is definitely trying to gain some ground on the points leader of Miller. Thomas Wagner in the 43. Remember, he's doing this all with a broken wrist, guys. Suffered from an incident last week to the inside retaining wall. Wagner hanging on tough, though, as he is currently in 11th spot. And the pace car is getting set to come down pit road on this dark North Carolina night here at Charlotte. Pace car down pit road, and Matt Grunberg has control of the field. He hits the loud button and he goes. Vic Bloom trying to hold on, but the 5 of J.R. Hager saw everything that was happening. He pulls up to the side. Hager looking to try and take over second spot in the 5. Can he do it on the outside? J.R. Hager getting excited, and that 5 car trying to take over second spot from 77 of Vic Bloom, and he has him by a nose heading into turns 3 and 4. J.R. Hager has some serious momentum now, and he pulls way out in front of Vic Bloom. Bloom now under pressure from the 7 car of Lee Granny. Lee goes to the inside. Lee Granny now takes up 3rd spot. He's got J.R. Hager in front of him. Fantastic restart here with Matt Grunberg just leaving the field again. But this time, J.R. Hager trying to do everything that he can to bring that 5 to the back bumper of the 54. And so far, it is working. Gap only 0.266 of a second. Hager trying to catch him. And he is running just a slightly different line, which may be allowing him to diamond that corner just a little bit. And he is actually catching Matt Grunberg right now. The difference, 0.183. J.R. Hager looking to try and make a pass here.
Vic Bloom definitely not having the restart that he wanted, Chris. He's actually under pressure right now by the 45 of Troy Leonard. Also, Eric Lyda was looking there. They were both digging now. It looks like Leonard's going to go down on the inside with that number 45. Lyda in the 33 is going to go right with him. That's definitely going to help him out. I mean, Charlotte, obviously, the aerodynamics and the draft come into play here. So those guys working together. Troy Leonard's able to get around the number 77. Eric Lyda is working on the inside right now. As Troy Leonard comes down, and he's going to pick up the draft there. Or Lyda's going to pick up the draft there and going to get around Vic Bloom. So Vic Bloom loses 2 positions.
Yeah, Vic Bloom starting this one in 2nd spot. Now down to 6. Got some ground to make up. Up front, though, it's Matt Grunberg. J.R. Hager is trying to catch him at one point. The gap was 0.0999 while Rick was talking. Now 0.266. Hager having fun on those fresh tires. We'll see if he can catch the back bumper of the 54. Lee Grandy, he is out there trying to catch J.R. Hager. Hager, who's running in second, going to be looking in the rearview mirror and seeing a white hood with some red lettering as Lee Grande trying to close that gap. Troy Leonard, Rick, you were just talking about him. Troy is running in 4th spot right now in the 45 with Eric Leiter right behind him, and they're kind of pulling away from Vic Bloom in the 77. Kevin G in the 6, he's running in 7th spot, and he's kind of had an up and down night, kind of relegated towards the middle of the field right now. Look for the 6 car to try and make his way to the top 3. Kenneth Fiance started very close to last here tonight, having a superior night, running in 8th spot with James Miller right behind him in the 25. During the last caution, Miller stayed out. He picked up his bonus point for leading a lap and then came down pit road. And he is looking to move that 25 car up towards the front with Shane DiMontova in the 20 right behind him. Shane rounds out the top 10.
Now, one interesting note, Chris, so far we've only had 2 lead changes. One of those was Matt Grunberg. I mean, he's been dominating tonight so far, leading 22 laps. Miller's led to 1, and those are the only guys that have led. But let me tell you, J.R. Hager. Okay, we've been talking about you, buddy. Now you're up front, so I'm gonna put this out there. Tonight, when you get off, go into iRacing, go under the paint section, and change that first box under car color from white to like black, and then your number 5 will show up nice and clear, and we'll have that driver bar up there, and everybody will see how fast you really are there in that beautiful Mustang.
I have it on film, folks. Rick just said,
whoa, the 5, whoa, hold on, the 5, whoa, that beautiful Mustang saw the crowd, Chris. It just,
oh no, Eric Leiter gets in and he spins him some more. Hager going for a ride through the infield grass, and we are under caution. Oh man, you know what that was, Rick?
That was the Mustang seeing the crowd.
No,
I mean commentator curse.
Commentator curse, buddy. That Ford Mustang GT just went for a ride. We're going to go back and see if we can't pick it up on the MaxSpeedTV instant replay. The 5 gets into the wall, and you see him struggling, trying to regather that car, not able to do it, bounces off the outside wall, comes down, Eric Leiter gets into him, and around that 5 car goes, bringing out a caution here on lap 73 of 130. It's been about 12 laps since these guys have come down pit road. You know they're going to come down for 4 tires and a fresh tank of fuel, and that is an absolute shame for the 5 car of J.R. Hager.
Let me tell you, JR had his hands full, Chris. I mean, I was actually in the cockpit view when that was going on, and man, he was doing such a good job. It looks like he missed his pit stall, so he's got to back up quite a bit there to get back in there. Not the night that he wanted to have. I apologize if it is the commentator curse. Not much we can do. It just happens here. But man, he almost had it. I mean, he was all over the place, and then he was starting to collect it up, but unfortunately, the guys just had no place to go. Eric Leiter just smashed into him, Chris, and that's just unfortunate.
Yeah, it really is. Guys, we're going to take a quick side-by-side commercial break. You won't miss a bit of the action as Rick and I tend to some stuff. We'll be right back.
Assist to the front bumper, and he hits him again now. Ray Alfala into the outside wall.
I don't know what is going on with my connection.
Nearly 3 cars down that front straightaway, and he's going to get them all done with. What amazing!
Lee to the inside goes Logan Cloudman is going to touch in.
Down, like the TVs aren't working also.
What a save!
Like,
Look to the outside as Trunkett goes off. De Jong into second place.
Right for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
It's howling down to the inside.
I trying this contact though.
Slides back to the racetrack. Chris Renner drives it back down underneath, and he takes that second spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact.
He's going to try and make the move around the outside the parabolica. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cut back here. Get the run out the parabolica. That's beautifully done there. Makashube, there's a little bit of door banging as well.
And we are back here at Charlotte, North Carolina, as these guys are on lap 75 of 130. We are working caution number 5, 2 of which were stage-ending cautions. So we've had 3 actual on-track incidents causing cautions. The last one, unfortunately, J.R. Hager in the 5 reports say that his car is no longer. J.R. Hager going to be out of this race, unfortunately. Do want to say congratulations to him, though. He was looking good there, running second before the commentator curse got him.
We are still under caution. Crystal lights are on. Let's bring him up here and see what's going on.
All right.
J.R. Hager, you got Rick Chris up in the booth. You got a copy, brother.
Yeah.
Man, tell us what went on there.
It was just, you know, that dirty air getting on your car and just pushing you up the track. It's, yeah, just discouraged right now.
Yeah, I can understand how that is, man. I mean, you almost had it collected back there, and you came off that outside wall, and, I mean, you were still spinning, but, you know, unfortunately, Eric Latta, he moved down right at the wrong time there and got into you, man. Hopefully you're okay, and, you know, we'll see you back here next week. Unfortunately, it looks like you already used your fast repair, so you're done for the night, huh?
Yeah, and actually before Eric even hit me, the car shut off, and there was smoke going, and I don't know if it was on the broadcast or not, but there was smoke flying out of the hood on my screen, so, you know, even if Eric wouldn't have hit me, I don't think it would change very many things, but we'll come back next week, and we'll give it all we got again.
All right, brother, is there anybody on that number 5 car you need to thank tonight?
Yeah, Caden Atkins, Lucas Cram, Derek Newsom, you know, all my FSR teammates, you know, I thank y'all for putting this paint scheme together for me, and be a lot of fun.
All right, buddy. Well, hey, listen, unfortunately not the night you wanted. We apologize for that. Just get that car fixed up and get ready for next week, my friend.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome, bud. Have a good night.
So good news here is we don't have another broken wrist. Bad news, we have lost a driver, and that's J.R. Hager. Hager now down 3 laps, but it don't matter because he won't be able to rejoin this one with a broken motor. Pace car lights are off, Rick. We've got Matt Gruenberg on the outside, your race leader. Lee Grandy on the inside in car number 7. Troy Leonard, Eric Lyda making up the 2nd row. Kevin G and Vic Bloom making up the 3rd row. And the pace car is off. Watch that 54. He's in control and he's gone. Hits the loud pedal and we are back under green flag conditions.
Matt Gruenberg definitely got these restarts down, Chris, as he got the big lead. 3.350 seconds right now to Lee Grandy in that number 7 machine. Man, he is just torn on. And look who's up in the 3rd. Troy Leonard. I'm not going to talk about you too much, bud, because I don't need any more commentator curse. But good job.
The 6 car. Kevin G just got into the wall. We go back to see. It looks like he's going to be okay. Lost a lot of positions there in the 6 car. And he's got Logan Simmons in the 70 on his inside trying for position. The battle now for 9th position. Kevin has it. Logan wants it. The 70 looking good out there. Not able to do it. Kevin has the momentum on that outside lane. The 70 pulls back up in line. And we continue on. Matt Gruenberg up front, gap .483. And wow, what a corner. Matt Gruenberg opens the gap up after that corner to .633, so 0.2 of a second through that last corner. Matt Gruenberg has found some speed out of that 54. And he may have to hold on to it as that number 7 has been fast all night long. Watch for that 7 to try and close the gap. But he's got some ground to make up now. Troy Leonard, Vic Bloom battling it out for 3rd spot.
Ooh, 20. Shane DiMattova going around, Chris. Jake McDonald, the number 15, getting on the side of Shane DiMattova.
We are under caution again. The 20 going around. Looks like Kevin makes a pass to the inside, and Shane moves down to the bottom lane. The 15 to the inside, the 20 to the outside. They make contact, and around the 20 goes. Some heavy damage to that 20. It was partially there, but the rear end very twisted on that car. If he doesn't have a quick repair, he's going to wish he did. Shane DiMattova able to drive away. No problem with the motor. That's about all you can ask for when something like that happens. We are under caution one more time here at Charlotte, lap 81 of 130. Matt Gruenberg has led 68 laps of this event so far, and he is looking strong out there as he was pulling away from Lee Grundy in the number 7 car. But it's time to hit pit road for some service. These guys were just down 7 laps ago, but they're not going to waste a single opportunity, Rick. Every time there's a caution, they're going to come down for 4 in fuel.
I mean, that's kind of a smart move. I mean, why would you want to stay out there and hold tires, Chris, when you can come down? Everyone pretty much going to come down and get 4 brand new Goodyears, going to get that Splash Sunoco racing fuel and get back out there.
Vic Bloom staying out with James Miller and Logan Simmons. Those 3 cars opting not to come down pit road yet. Vic Bloom looking to pick up a lap lead on the chart and has done so. 5 different race leaders so far. Gruenberg with 68, McDonald with 10, Wagner with 1, Bloom with 1, Miller with 1. Those 5 drivers have all led laps here tonight. But the guy to talk about, man, he has had a fantastic night. Matt Gruenberg in the 54. Absolutely dominating this one so far, Rick. 68 laps led. Keeping an eye on the first 3 cars to see if they decide to come down pit road or if they're going to try and do it on some older tires. This could come down to pit strategy, folks. Remember that we were told about 28 laps on a tank of fuel. If they don't come down pit road now and they finish out their tank of fuel that they have, they would only have to pit one more time. Maybe not a bad idea.
Now, it might not be a bad idea, Chris, but we saw it there at the beginning of the race there. When Thomas Wagner had those fresh tires compared to everybody else, he was just moving that number 43 up through the field. So that might be something that these guys probably have on their mind. I mean, I don't know if they're just doing it for position for now and hoping, maybe thinking that another caution might come out or what, but it's going to be real interesting to see.
Well, you know, they may be hoping for a quick caution here, and that could definitely shift everything. So right now, Vic Bloom in the 77. Looking good up front, Vic Bloom. James Miller right behind. That Stars and Stripes, number 25. And Logan Simmons making up the top 3. Matt Gruenberg comes out of pit road first, but is going to restart this one in 4th spot. And Rick, it's been a while since he's been that far back in the field.
Yeah, it really has. It's going to be interesting to see what he can do as he's coming up through. Got a little bit of work to make up, but there's plenty of laps left, Chris. We're going to be on lap 84 next time by of 130. The lights should come off on the pace car.
Taking a shot behind James Miller. Watching those lights on the pace car, they do in fact shut off. So we've got a mile and a half to go before we go back to green flag racing. And Vic Bloom looks like he may be choosing the inside. James Miller setting up on the outside. Vic Bloom has picked the inside as they go down the backstretch looking to try and get this one back under green flag conditions. Top 3 drivers on the board: Bloom, Miller, and Simmons. Gruenberg, Grandy, Troy Leonard, Eric Lyda, Ken Yance, Thomas Wagner, and Shane Diontova making up the top 10. Of course, as I say that, it starts to change a little bit if that happens. James Miller, trying to save a little fuel, was hanging back. Comes back to the front, hanging on tight as the pace car about to take that very sharp left turn down pit road. Vic Bloom hits the loud button. James Miller does a pretty good job trying to stay to the back bumper. Remember, these guys are on slightly older tires in the 54, already by the 70 of Logan Simmons. Watch out for the 54. He's got fresh tires. Vic Bloom, James Miller on old tires. The 54 trying to make it happen. He's on the outside. Vic Bloom dives down to the inside. He brings with him James Miller, the 54. Decides he's got to stay in line. And now we go single file. The 54 has some... Oh, we're under caution. It's the 70, Logan Simmons, facing the wrong way. We're going to have to go back and take a peek at that one. See what happened to Logan in the 70 car. Logan, one of those cars that decided to stay out. And some of these guys with fresher tires all around him. He gets into the 7. The 7 bumps into the wall. The 70 tries to hold on and not quite able to do it, but very little contact. Lee Grundy also involved. You see the right side of that car torn up pretty badly. He'll have to use a quick repair if he hasn't already. As we are under caution one more time, James Miller, your race leader, and Rick, we were just talking about it. There's that quick swing now. We've got 4 drivers out there that didn't come down pit road last time. I almost want to say they're going to do it this time.
Oh, definitely. I mean, they'd be smart to do it. I mean, if they don't do it, you know, these guys that have the fresher tires out there, I mean, we just saw what happened, you know. I mean, so I know the number 70, he's coming down pit road. We got a couple other guys that are coming down pit road. It also looks like the number... Looks like the number 6 is down there on pit road, Chris. The 7, 43, 72, and 70 right now, all getting serviced out on their vehicles. Vic Bloom still sitting there in number 1 position. James D. Miller going to be 2nd. Matt Grunberg 3rd. Eric Latta 4th. Shane Diontova works his way back up into the 5th spot in that 20 machine. Troy Leonard in the 45 6th. Kevin Giadarich in the 6th, going to be 7th. Kenneth Yance in the 72 8th. Thomas Wagner moves up to 9th. And Logan Simmons rounding out the top 10.
Yeah, Lee Grandy and Jake McDonald finish out the field as J.R. Hager, the sole vehicle not on the racetrack anymore after the last caution where he was spun pretty violently. Really, it ended up taking out his motor, so he is done for the night. Vic Bloom, James Miller on those older tires, looking to see if they can try and stay up front for a little while longer, as they have no intention of coming down onto pit road.
Well, there we go. JR is going to be all set for next week, Chris. He figured out his paint, what he had to do. So he's going to be all good to go next week. JR Hager, unfortunately, out on track, or off the track, like you said. That car is behind pit road, getting loaded up into the hauler, Chris, with a bad motor. That is quite unfortunate, as JR was having a great night tonight.
Yep. Who's having a great night right now? Vic Bloom. That's part of racing, Rick. You know, 1 minute you're a hero, the next minute you're not on track.
And it can definitely happen to, you know, any of these guys. I mean, JR really tried really hard trying to collect up that number 5 Mustang and was just unable to do it right now. So unfortunate for him, but yeah, Vic Bloom, 77, started 6th, now leading the pack. Got James Miller in the 25. Gonna get interesting to see which lane Vic Bloom takes.
Yeah, Vic does have a little bit of damage on that right front fender, as we are looking right out of there right now from this camera angle, watching the pace car going around the track. 1.5 miles long with a very slow 55-mile-per-hour pace speed. And man, when you're going at full tilt here, it's nice and easy. When you're going down on pace speed, oh my goodness, you just want it to end. So Bloom looks like he is going to take the inside one more time. It's going to put Miller to the outside. Matt Grunberg going to be starting on the inside, second row with Eric Leida to the outside. Shane Dimatova out there in a fresh number 20, sitting in 5th spot with Troy Leonard to his outside. Kevin G going to be restarting this one in 7th with Kenneth Yonts on the outside in the 72. Thomas Wagner, Logan Simmons, Lee Reddy, and Jake McDonald rounding out the field. Pace car lights are off. We're heading down the backstretch into turns number 3 and 4. The pace car is about ready to take a hard left-hand turn, and it's done it a few times here tonight. I expect, Rick, that it'll keep it under control this time.
I'm sure it definitely will, and the man who's going to be to beat is going to be Vic Bloom. Kind of interesting. I mean, we saw Grunberg always wanting to take that outside lane, but Vic Bloom stays on the inside, and he goes, Chris. He gets hard onto that gas pedal right now, but look who's right next to him. It's going to be the 25, James Miller. Also got a good restart. Vic Bloom cuts up in front.
Oh no, Miller gets into the back of Bloom. Everybody's checking up. Miller has no place to go. Gets into the 77 again, and around they go. Vic Bloom hard into the wall. The 25, James Miller, trying to press it, not able to do it. Vic Bloom goes around. We're under caution once again. We're going to go back and take a look. Vic Bloom up front. Miller dives down to the inside, trying to take away the lane. Bloom must not have seen it, didn't get the call from the spotter, and around they go as the 25 hard into it. The 77 going around and around, getting hit, and that car definitely torn up. You see the back valence of the trunk lid absolutely missing on that 77 car. The 45 of Troy Leonard also taking some pretty serious damage there. A couple other cars also involved. So we are under caution once again. Lap 91 of 130, and Vic Bloom, I guarantee you, not happy in that 77 machine. In fact, we are still going here with the 77. We're going to go back and take a peek and see what we missed. The 77 very not happy here. And he piles into the 70. I don't know why. Troy Leonard, Logan Simmons really had nothing to do with that. But Vic Bloom just pile drove right into the back of the 70. Rick, we're on a 1.5 mile long track, and we've got short track tempers going on.
Yeah, we definitely do, Chris. Not exactly sure what happened. It looks like Jake McDonald was ejected from the race also in the number 15. Not exactly sure why.
Well, with all of that happening on track, Matt Grunberg going to reassume the lead. He's got Shane Dimatova and Thomas Wagner sitting right behind him. James Miller goes from fighting for the lead back to 4th. And Miller did come down pit road that last time, so he's got fresh tires. Grunberg and Shane Dimatova did not come down pit road. They have 10 laps on theirs. Thomas Wagner has 5. And I guarantee it, you know one guy who's not upset to see these cautions, Rick? It's Thomas Wagner. Broken wrist Tom Wagner still getting it done out there, running in the top 3 right now. We are working caution number 8. We had 2 cautions for the stage racing. 6 cautions on track, 24 laps total. We've got 38 laps to go with 9 different lead changes amongst 5 different drivers. Friday night battling happening once again here at the Relentless Racing Series. Right here on MaxSpeedTV. Matt Grunberg up front. Shane DiMattova maybe looking to come down pit road, realizing, hey, I've been out here for a little while. Nope, pulls back on. Not willing to give up that position right now.
I'm just trying to figure out what happened with the 70 car, Chris. He was up on the racing surface, right next to the apron line, and then he just shot down, and unfortunately, not too sure.
Yeah, 70 car all torn up.
Brandon, you're absolutely right, man. Chris just said it, you know, we're on a mile and a half. Usually things go fairly well here, but the short track tempers are definitely starting the show tonight. I'd like to take a moment to thank everybody out there in MaxSpeedTV land who is hanging out with us, with Chris and I here on MaxSpeedTV with these Relentless Racing Series boys with the Xfinity here in Charlotte. Tune in Sunday as we bring the Blazing Pedals Truck Series, TRJkarting.com Truck Series. We're going to be live with those guys on Sunday night, starting at around 8:10. And then Wednesday night, our new lead Chris and I picked up, Racing for a Cause. If you want to see some short track tempers flare, definitely tune in Wednesday night at around 9 p.m. Eastern. Those boys heading to Stanford. That's going to be a great race. But right now, we got to finish up here at Charlotte with the Relentless Racing Series. We got about 37 laps to go, Chris.
Yeah, not a lot of time left. We got one more pit stop that these guys are going to have to do before the end of this one. Fuel run about 28 laps. And to be honest, Rick, we haven't really been able to see if that's true or not. We had a lap caution very early on in the race. It went green flag through the rest of that one. We had a caution during the second stage. So really not sure what the fuel run is. We haven't seen it yet. But what we do know is Matt Grunberg has been dominating this race. He's led 72 of the 94 laps led. Matt Grunberg in the 54 has won both stages. As the pace car comes down pit road, it is in the 54 car's hands. The 54 gets on the go button, and he's got the 43, Thomas Wagner. We'll call him Captain Broken Wrist right now. We used to have a different nickname for him, but right now it is Captain Broken Wrist. DiMattova heads on down, and James Miller on the outside looking to get in front of Thomas Wagner. He does. Miller makes position number 3 his. Fresh tires, and he is fresher tires than the top 2 runners. Shane DiMattova, Matt Grunberg both have 13 laps on those tires, and that does make a difference here at Charlotte. Something to watch out for is the 25, maybe looking to try and put an exclamation point on this race. The 25 to the outside of Shane DiMattova, and Shane actually being blocked a little bit right now by Matt Grunberg. Grunberg, not the fastest car on track right now, and that has not been the case for most of this night. It's 25 looking to the outside for the lead. James Miller on the outside makes it stick, and he has the lead coming across the start-finish line to start lap 97 of 130.
And like you said, that's just old tires versus new tires, Chris. James Miller. I mean, I talked about him early, and maybe I should have said that, you know, I didn't think he was going to win the race. But James Miller doing what he does. I mean, we see it week in, week out. He always goes out there, he gets his bonus points, and he always sets himself up, Chris, to win. I mean, that's what these guys are out here doing. I mean, they're out here having fun, but they all want to win the race. And one guy who always set, I mean, actually both 1 and 2, those guys both set each other up, or each other themselves up. I can't even talk because I'm so excited. But they set themselves up week in and week out to win races, and that's just amazing. And right now, Miller is just flying. The gap is increasing right now .600, .666. It's just growing, Chris. James Miller exactly where he wants to be. That beautiful stars and bars Camry looking great out there.
Yeah, Gruenberg right now running in second, trying to figure out where Miller came from. Shane DiMontova, he's running in third, but he's got Vic Bloom in the 77 right behind him. They're getting ready to battle it out for third spot. Kenneth Yance. Kenneth is running in the top 5. Welcome to top 5 land, the 72 of Kenneth Yance. As the 77 Vic Bloom gets underneath DiMontova, and Vic Bloom trying to make it stick on the inside does so, and he'll cross the start-finish line in third, and that puts the 21 more position back behind him now. Kenneth Yance. Kenneth does have fresher tires than Shane. Shane may be suffering on those old tires. We're going to have to see how this one plays out. Matt Gruenberg sitting in second spot after leading 74 laps of this event, unable to catch the race leader at this time of James Miller. Miller has fresh tires, and Gruenberg has got to figure it out because he is losing precious time on track. Last lap by Rick, it was 0.2 of a second difference in speed.
Now, one thing Miller's got to remember, though, Chris, is he doesn't want to wear those tires out. I mean, he's got a good lead right now. And Gruenberg's, you know, I mean, he's a good, clean, respectful driver, and he will work his way back up there as the tires start falling off on that 25. But if he is able to save it just a little bit, I mean, we got 28 laps left to go. So there's still a lot of time.
28 laps to go, Rick, and that happens to be what our fuel run window is supposed to be. None of these guys are on track right now, able to make it the rest of the way. Troy Leonard on pit road, and he is off 1 lap ago. So Troy trying to figure out a way to maybe get himself up front, knowing that pit stops are going to have to happen. That might not be a bad move.
No, I was just going to say that, Chris. I mean, if these guys practice, they know that, you know, a fuel run is right around 28 laps. So if Troy is able to go out there, get the service done, come back out, and race, he knows all these guys are probably going to have to come. I mean, there's a 99% chance that these guys are going to have to come down to pit road. I mean, nobody's saving fuel right now. I mean, that's a fact. I mean, James Miller, he is just on the gas right now, doing what he has to do, trying to get that gap to open up just a little bit more. So that might have been a very, very smart move for that number 45 machine.
Yeah, meanwhile, Kenneth Yance has moved up in the 4th position, but behind him, Lee Granny. Lee in the 7 car not that long ago was trying to battle for the lead. He was involved in an incident back out there, fresh tires, trying to get around Kevin G in the 6 car. Checking in with race leader James Miller. Miller has opened up a 1.1 second lead over Matt Gruenberg in the 54. Gruenberg running on 23 lap old tires. Scheduled pit stops right around 28 laps, so look for Gruenberg to be coming down pit road in about 5 laps. Vic Bloom in the 77 running in 3rd, but the battle right now, 4th position. Kevin G getting around Ken Yance, and Kenneth falls back to 5th, and he is under the gun right now as he has got some cars all around him. He's got the 7 car, Lee Granny right behind him, Kevin G right in front of him, Kenneth Yance in the 72 looking good, but he is under the gun.
Right now, just checking my scoring screen. Thomas Wagner at 43 must be listening in. He is heading into pit road, Chris, for his service. Getting that done. Troy Leonard still sitting in his pit stall, so that might not have been... Boy, he's been on there for quite a while. Thomas Wagner finishes his up. He is heading back out to the racing surface. Logan Simmons in the 70, he came down pit road also. And yes, it looks like Troy Leonard might be out for the night, Chris.
All right, well, Troy Leonard makes that the 3rd car out of this race. As James Miller continues to pick him up and put him down, still has about a second lead over 2nd place Matt Gruenberg. It has fallen a little bit. That gap has closed, but Gruenberg has to be thinking about when he's going to come down pit road. Won't be able to look to the leader for guidance, as the leader's got 10 lap fresher tires and 10 lap fresher fuel tank. The fuel cell is here, good for about 28 laps, and Gruenberg working lap 26. I expect he'll be coming down pit road very soon. The last thing he wants to do, Rick, is run out of fuel. And we've seen that in this league a couple of times where drivers will push it to the very envelope and not come away happy from it.
Well, you're absolutely right, Chris. I mean, we've seen it in a couple leagues, actually. I mean, one thing that I'm kind of wondering, now just hear me out. Now, I think James Miller, I mean, he had quite the lead going. Now, James has to be watching in his mirror going, okay, when is Gruenberg going to go down for his service? Because I expect to see the 25 probably come down right around the same time. Now, if that gap is too big, he can't really see what Gruenberg's doing. Do you think maybe he's just backing off on the fuel, maybe saving a little bit, but also just closing that gap up a little bit so that way Matt Gruenberg can't just sneak into pit road?
I don't know. He may be saving some tires. I'm going to give you that. But Miller definitely wants to keep the pressure on. And look, everybody's going to have to come down pit road still. There's no getting around that. Logan Simmons just came down pit road. He's got fresh tires. Thomas Wagner came down 3 laps ago. Shane DiMontova on pit road right now getting service done to that number 20 car. Matt Gruenberg now has been out there for 29 laps. How much further does he want to push it? You know he's got to be suffering some handling issues in that Toyota Camry. James Miller also in a Camry up front. The gap now 0.583, make it 0.5. Back to Matt Gruenberg in second place. Gruenberg's tank getting very light. He's been out there for 30 laps. We can scratch that 28 laps we were told, because we were down to 19 laps to go, and race leader James Miller has been out there for 21, second place. Matt Gruenberg working lap 31 now, Rick.
Well, Matt Gruenberg is one of those drivers, Chris, that he knows that if he needs to save a little bit of fuel, maybe that's why the gap got big, so big. Maybe he's trying to squeak it out just a little bit. This is going to get really interesting. KR Solpus checking in. Go number 77.
The 77 of Vic Bloom running in third spot right now. It's always about the 77 with him. You ever notice that, Rick?
Well,
6.
I can't say nothing. I mean, my number 2.
Yeah, that's true enough. Go home, KR. Go home.
Roger Muth, he's checking in. Roger, good to see you guys out there. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Showing us newbies a little bit of love. We appreciate it.
Matt Gruenberg in the 54 has caught the back bumper of race leader James Miller. Unbelievable. He's got 33 laps on this set of tires. He is catching the race leader. Gruenberg has dominated this race, now trying to do it from second place. He's led 74 laps of this event, and he is catching James Miller, your points leader, trying to put that 54 up front, but he has got to be getting low on fuel, Rick. 33 laps, and here he comes down pit road. Gruenberg has to give up second spot with 16 laps to go. Miller also coming down, knowing he had to pit. This is going to change everything. Vic Bloom in the 77 coming down pit road. Kenneth Yonts in the 72 coming down pit road. Kevin G just getting finished with his service. Lee Grani in the 7. First time out with the Relentless Racing Series, and he has looked pretty good tonight. He is out on track. He's been out there for a lap on his tank of fuel. He goes around Kevin in the 6 car. Lee trying to get himself back to the front. He was battling Rick for the lead at one point in this race. Got tied up in a little bit of an incident. You see the damage on the right side of that car, and that may be slowing him down a little bit, but definitely not hurting his hopes to try and get up to the top 3 of this one. It looks like Gruenberg and Miller back out on track, and Miller has lost a ton of time. He comes back out on track in 4th spot after coming in as the race leader. Gruenberg takes up the mantle in first place with Lee Grady right behind him in the 6 car. And Kevin G, he is working third, trying to get around Lee right now for second.
And what's kind of interesting, Matt Grunberg, Chris, he is leading this pack right now, doing what he has to do in that 54. I can tell you right now, he probably just took maybe 2 tires or just fuel. 7.38 seconds. James D. Miller was out in his pit stall for 13.40 seconds, so he definitely got fuel and tires. So it's going to be interesting to see as we got 13 laps left to go here as he crosses the start-finish line, what Miller can do to catch back up. Like you said, he's got a lot of ground to make up. He's got to get around the 7. He's got to get around the 6. You got teammates running 1 and 2. This is where it's going to get interesting. The one sim guys, they do this every week, so it's going to be interesting to see if Kevin Giaderich can get up there to his teammate to help Matt Grunberg out a little bit. James D. Miller moves up into third position.
Caution on track, Rick. Caution, as Thomas Wagner, broken wrist and all, may have been involved with that one. Logan Simmons on pit road. We'll go back and take a look on the MaxSpeedTV instant replay. Broken wrist. Thomas didn't go back far enough. We'll check it again. The wrist may be giving up as he was racing by himself, got into the outside retaining wall, and around he went in the 43. Going for a ride, Thomas. I hope that you took your hand off the wheel, bud. I really do. Thomas Wagner breaking his wrist last week as he hit the inside retaining wall. No joke, guys. Literally broke his wrist playing a sim. Matt Gruenberg, race leader, going, oh no. He's out there with 2 tires. Second place runner, teammate Kevin G, out there with 2 tires. First guy out there with 4 brand new tires, James Miller in the 25. As we're trying to figure out a paternity test issue going on in chat, we've got a hell of a race getting set to finish up here with 11 laps to go. Different pit strategies all around, lots of pit stops happening. Eric Lyda on pit road coming off now, and look at this, guys. Cars coming down. 3 cars staying out on track that were part of the race lead. James Miller also out on track. Oh no, excuse me, Miller on pit road. Miller looking to try and get 4 more fresh tires to end this one. Oh, this could be huge. We figured out that about after 10 laps, you lose about 0.3 of a second. These guys going to be restarting nose to tail here. And this could be very, very big, Rick.
Yeah, definitely can. I mean, if this time in between everybody else, that's going to be the thing to see. But Giaderich, he's not one just to kind of sit by, so it's going to be interesting to see what he does there with his teammate starting right there next to him. We're in for a good little shootout here, bud.
Under caution here with 11 laps to go. Make it 10 when they cross the start-finish line. And Rick is looking around for one Thomas Wagner. We got to check in, make sure we're not having a medical emergency with the 43 car out there with Thomas Wagner. Rick.
Thomas Wagner, you got Rick and Chris up in the booth. You got a copy, bud?
Yep, I do.
Hey, brother. How you feeling out there?
This hurts.
I'm sure it probably does. Did you actually let go of the wheel this time?
Ow. Fuck.
Ow.
Negative.
No, that's a negative. All right, buddy. Well, you got a little bit of ground to make up. Looks like you're sitting in 9th right now. How's that Mustang feeling out there?
Like trash.
Like trash. Well, you know, if you put a bow tie on it, it might drive a little bit better.
Never.
Oh man, there's Good luck to you, bud.
Thanks, guys.
Thomas Wagner out there doing what he can to try and keep that wrist from hurting anymore. Poor guy.
I mean, it's hard. I mean, he is using a very good wheel. He's got the podium from Fanatec, Chris, and there's a lot of power in those things. So, I mean, as you said, last week he hit the wall. He actually fractured his wrist, had to go into walk-in care. And it's just one of those things. I mean, there's a lot of power there, and, you know, I know when I crashed, I never let go of my wheel either. I mean, you obviously try to, it's kind of reaction, you know, you try to save your car. And in a sim, you know, you just got to remember, hey, listen, this is all virtual, it's all pixels, man. It's not going to cost me anything.
Well, you may have missed it because I think I had myself muted. I did ask Tom, and I hate to even bring this up again, but I said, didn't you learn from Danica Patrick? And he didn't like that one too much. Pace car lights are off. We have 9 laps to go. Make it 8 when they cross the start-finish line, and Matt Grunberg has got some work to do. He's out there with some older tires, and behind him, he's got, starting in 4th spot, the 25 car, your points leader, James Miller, on the outside. Man, this is going to get good. Look at that. Lee Grandy back up the 5th spot. His first time here with the Relentless Racing Series. You see the heavy damage to the right rear of that 7 car. As we get ready to go back, green flag racing to 54. We'll have control. And Rick, we've seen this time and time again. He has a knack for timing his restarts just right.
What's kind of interesting, now he's taking the inside. All night we've seen him take that outside lane. So that's kind of interesting to see, especially with James Miller right there. But hey, there goes the go button.
Shane Dimatova, that's the 2nd time tonight. He spins his tires on the restart, gets himself out of the way. James Miller fights down to the inside. James Miller looking for 2nd. He is battling with Kevin G. Kevin happens to be the teammate of Matt Grunberg, but no battle there. Miller able to get around and takes over 2nd spot. In 4th spot, Vic Bloom in the 77. He's got Lee Grundy on the inside. The 77 gets in the wall. Everybody looks out. Eric Lyda able to get down underneath, and look out for Ken Yance in the 72. The 72 trying to make himself a nice, comfortable position, trying to get to the top 5. Eric Lyda has it. Ken Yance may want it. He's down on the inside in the 72. We go 3 wide, racing with 7 to go.
And right now, James Miller, Chris, on the inside of the number 54, trying to take over the lead.
Oh, no! Oh! Miller gets around, and he takes out race leader and a bunch more. Oh, my goodness. That is not how we wanted to finish this one. We may have a little bit more time, but Miller goes around, collects the 54, race leader Matt Grunberg. We're going to go back and take a look at that one, Rick, because that one was big. Miller was diving down, trying to get below the 54. The 54 squeezing down. They get together, and Miller loses it completely. Nosedives into the outside retaining wall, and then it's car after car spinning that 25 around. Holy cow. James Miller came into tonight the points leader, not the way he wanted this race to go. We're going to go back and see if we can't catch that again. 54 to 25 hard into the outside retaining wall. And then it's car after car, the 25 going around multiple times. And that changes everything as we have a new race leader, the 6 car of Kevin Jetersich.
And look who's in 2nd, Chris. The number 7, Lee Grandy. Eric Lyda moves up to 3rd. Vic Bloom in 4th.
Yeah, that one changes the whole makeup of this one. As Thomas Wagner was a little bit involved, he got a little bit of damage on that one. But look at him. He's back up to 5th spot. Ken Yance, maybe just a little damage to the right front of that one. Shane Diamantova, we saw him. He spun the tires on that last restart, kind of jammed everybody up. but they were able to get through clean, and that 20 car looking like he's got some damage. Matt Gruenberg and James Miller coming back out on track. Heavily damaged cars here. As we have 5 laps to go, we're under caution. This makes caution number 10 with 2 different stages being part of that caution number. We've had 30 laps under caution. 5 laps to go, 12 different lead changes between 6 different drivers, Rick, and I don't know that we're done yet.
And I think we're going to have a little bit of a shootout here, Chris, as the lights are still on in that pace car. We're going to go around one more time. We might have 3 to go here. Or 2 to go. I can't math on a Friday night.
Math is hard. We got the yellow lights flashing with 4 to go. 3 cars have retired from this one. Logan Simmons has been on pit road for 16, almost 17 minutes. Everybody else out on track, trying to finish this one with the best position they can handle. And Kevin G in the 6 up front with Lee Grundy, first time runner here, trying to maybe potentially score a win. That 7 car was one of the class acts of the field earlier on in this race. Got involved in a little accident, fell back to the back, has worked his way back up to 2nd. Eric Lyda is running in 3rd. Eric, one of those drivers, he could definitely pull a win out of his hat in the 33. And Vic Bloom in the 77, he's had a very interesting night here, but he is currently running 4th. Thomas Wagner in the 43, he's running in 5th spot. Not bad with a broken wrist. The 43 looking to try and close this one out strong. And on his outside will be Kenneth Yonts in the 72 car. Good to see you out there, Kenneth. Shane Dimotova in the 20. He's been up front a couple of times, just not able to get the restart he's been looking for. And he is currently back in 7th spot with James Miller. Car is completely torn up in the rear. James Miller in the 25, trying to hold on to the points lead that he has over Matt Gruenberg, who's trying to catch the tail end of the field. You see the damage on the 54. That's going to hurt. And Logan Simmons on pit road, as I mentioned. So pace car lights are off, Rick, and we're getting down the backstretch, getting ready to start this one up. We're going to have 2 laps to go as we go back to the green flag. We've seen some very interesting stuff here tonight. It's been short track tempers on a 1.5 mile long track.
Yeah, absolutely right. We're going to have 2 to go once that pace car gets off the racing surface, heads down pit road, Chris. 3 miles to finish this race out. Who's it going to be?
Cars lining up 2 by 2, getting ready to go. Lee Grundy actually going to be starting 2nd spot, Rick, on the inside. We did see him earlier on the front. He did have a pretty good restart against Matt Gruenberg, but this is not Matt Gruenberg. This is Kevin G. He's up front in the 6. The 7 hanging back, trying to pick off the restart. Not able to do it. And the 77 of Vic Bloom takes position number 2. The 7 fights back on the inside as they get ready to head into treacherous turn number 1. The 7 gets back around the 77 of Vic Bloom, puts him back to 3rd spot. Now, with just a lap and a half to go, can the number 7 of Lee Grundy make it around the 6 car? The 6 looking to pick up a win here tonight, and it would serve him well. He is running in 3rd in points coming into tonight, and he has got the white flag out in the air, trying to pick up a race win here on a Friday night. Kevin looking to try and win one in that 6 car. Lee Grundy trying to push that 7 as much as he can, but it's not going to happen. It doesn't look like, as we're in the final 2 turns of this one, Rick. Getting ready to come back down the front stretch. The 7 goes to the outside, trying to make a challenge, can't do it. And the 6 wins with the 7 behind and 77 coming in 3rd.
Definitely a great shootout there at the end, Chris. Vic Bloom doing what he had to do. Coming in third tonight, like you said, Thomas Wagner looks like it's going to be fourth. Matt Grunberg is going to be in fifth. Shane DiMatova in sixth. Eric Lida fell back to seventh. Kenneth Johnson eighth. James D. Miller in ninth. Wasn't able to make up much time there. And then Logan Simmons rounding out the field there in top 10.
Unbelievable racing here tonight as we take a look at the results. Just wicked racing. Stay tuned because we're going to watch Kevin burn down the house as we go side by side. We'll take a commercial break. We'll be right back for post-race interviews.
Assist to the front bumper, and he hits him again now. Rayon Fowler into the outside wall.
He's going to pass nearly 3 cars down that front straightaway, and he's going to get them all done with. What amazing.
Lee to the inside goes Logan Cloudman is going to touch in. Pit press sideways. What a save.
Looks to the outside, and Trunke goes off. De Jong into second place.
Going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
It's howling down to the inside.
Trying this contact though.
Slide left of the racetrack. Chris Benner drives it back down underneath, and he takes that second spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact. He's going to try and make the move around the outside the parabolica. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cutback here. Get the run out the parabolica. That's beautifully done there. Michael Schubert, there's a little bit of door banging as well.
So a hell of a race here tonight at Charlotte, North Carolina. Coming in third place tonight, the number 77, Vic Bloom. Vic joins us here in the booth. Vic, congratulations first and foremost on a third place finish, man. That's got to feel good.
Yeah, it feels great. Definitely didn't. I had a third place car.
Well, this race was very interesting. You know, you had a few cautions out there, and you seemed to work them pretty well. You did get involved in some earlier scrapes, but you managed to bring it back into third. Why don't you take me through your race and let me know how it went for you?
Yeah, so from the start, like, the setup was a little bit on the tighter side, and everybody had those general throughout the night. And so, I mean, I can't talk you through how my entire race went because it was just up and down, up and down, up and down. But I can say that, like, the final caution definitely changed the entire race.
Oh yeah,
entire field.
We saw that, yeah. And did you, when that final caution came out, how confident were you in your car to hold position and try and come home in that top three?
Well, actually, when Kevin picked the top line, I was so thankful. Like, my guys in my Discord were like, "Holy, now Kevin picked the top side. He's going to actually help you out on this restart." Kevin have some history that's not, but he worked at top side, and it really helped me on that restart. If I would have had to restart like behind the 7 car, I probably would have not been third.
Well, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, and you brought home a third place finish tonight, brother. Good race, man. Congratulations. That's a great run for you. And that's definitely going to help out in the points. Is there anybody on that car that you want to thank tonight?
Not anybody I got to thank, but I was running a cystic fibrosis car tonight, Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, because one of my dear friends, my best friend, he has cystic fibrosis, and sometimes he goes through and has a very hard time. So this is the least I can do for him to run this foundation on my car.
That's a great story, man, and that definitely touches a little close to home there. So congratulations again on your third place finish. The car looked good out there. Not so good right now, though. If you're looking at it from the outside, the right side's a little beat up there. Congratulations, though, Vic. That was a great run for you, bud.
Thank you.
All right, that's driver of the number 77, Vic Bloom, bringing it home in third place tonight. And it looks like Rick may have caught up with the race winner. Driver of the number 6, it's Kevin. Rick, you have him.
Kevin Giadrich, you got Rick and Chris up in the booth. You got a copy, buddy?
Yeah, I hear you guys.
Oh, man, talk about being at the right place at the right time. Congratulations on your win tonight. Tell us a little bit about your race.
Yeah, man, it's awful. Just the race was good. It was fun racing with some of these guys. The setup was pretty awful. I don't think we used an iRacing default setup. They created their own masterpiece, and it was absolutely terrible. So battling with the new setup and then racing with everybody around you, which can be a challenge in itself, it was definitely a hassle. So,
I mean, it definitely looked good from up here, throughout the race. I mean, obviously it got a little hairy there towards the middle and whatnot, but I thought it was pretty well, man. But listen, congratulations. This is going to help you out big time in the point standings there heading into next week. So congratulations on that. Is there anybody on that number 6 machine that you need to thank?
Yeah, just want to thank teammate Matt Gruenberg. Want to thank James Miller for causing that last wreck. Helped me get the lead there. That's about it.
Oh, all right, buddy. Well, hey, listen, congratulations, and we look forward to seeing what you can do next week.
Hey, I appreciate it, guys.
Thank you, sir. Have a good night.
All right. That was the race winner, driver of the number 6, Kevin G. And you can hear it in his voice. There's definitely some takeaways from this track that maybe he's not so happy about, but ends up winning the race. We'll go through the top finishers once again. Kevin with the race win in that number 6, and he had Lee Grande right behind him in the number 7 car. Vic Bloom, kind enough to come into TeamSpeak after the race and chat with us in the 77, brings it home in 3rd. Thomas Wagner, with a broken wrist, comes home 4th place. Matt Gruenberg ends up in 5th after that last caution. Shane DiMatova in 6th. Eric Lyda brings his 33 home in 7th place. Ken Yonts coming home in 8th. James Miller, 9th position. Logan Simmons, 10th. Troy Leonard, Jake McDonald, J.R. Hager, not able to complete this one, but they had fun trying, and they finished 11th, 12th, and 13th. And, Rick, that brings us to the end of a Friday night. And we've got a lot of racing coming up here. Sunday night, join us live from Darlington Raceway as we have the TRJ.karting.com Blazing Pedal Series heading to Darlington, ready to go for 220 laps. And then Wednesday night, we've got Racing for a Cause. They're doing Stafford for 119 laps, and we're here live to bring you all that action. Also, don't forget, check out next Thursday. We've started something new here on MaxSpeedTV. It's called Across the Infield, where we get together with some of the guys and just kind of talk about their week. And that did the first one this past week, and it was pretty well received. So we're going to keep on going with that. And that's about it, Rick.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great race tonight, Chris. I look forward to Sunday and then moving on to Wednesday, and hopefully I am well enough to be here on Thursday for you for the Across the Infield. And that's it, man. I mean, it was a good race here in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm going to get the Hammond Hotel packed up and get it over to Darlington.
All right. We're going to do the same thing. We're out of here. Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for stopping by.